Hi, and welcome to another shoe comparison here on Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim, and today I'm comparing the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38 with the Puma Velocity Nitro. Now before I get into it too far, let me just take a minute and demonstrate what it looks like to run in these shoes I'm about to review for you. But then when we come back together, I'm going to take a real close look at the Nike Air Zoom Pegasus 38 and the Puma Velocity Nitro to try to answer the question, which shoe is right for you? Now this video is not intended to be a full review of either shoe, but if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below to reviews I've completed for each of them previously. Now if you're new to the channel, I post running shoe reviews and comparisons on both Wednesday and Saturday mornings, and that's at 5 a.m. Standard Eastern Time here in the US. I also like to post other videos related to running, but I'm never sure what day of the week that's going to be. So if you enjoy watching running shoe reviews and other videos related to running, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time that I upload new content. Both of these daily trainers are considered to be neutral road shoes. I ordered them true to size. They each cost $120 US. There is a difference in the weight. The Nike Pegasus 38 is the heavier of the two options. They came in at 9.9 ounces for a men's size 9 on my scales, or 282 grams, while the Velocity Nitros came in at 9.1 ounces or 258 grams. So starting with the fit of the uppers on these, I felt like with the toe box that there was pretty much an equivalent amount of space to display my toes in each of these shoes. The one difference I did notice was across the midfoot. While both do a good job with giving you a nice solid lockdown feeling across your midfoot, I felt like the Pegasus 38 did a slightly better job, making me feel like I was really banded to the shoe. But each have a nice well-defined heel pocket for your heel to set in. I didn't have any issues with my heel migrating around, slippage either up or down or side to side. So I think they each did a good job helping you feel nice and secure when you're out running. So let's take a real close look at the upper on each of these and the material that they made them out of. I'm going to start with the Pegasus 38 first. Now here they used a sandwiched mesh material. So, because it's a couple layers of material, it does feel a little bit warmer on foot than the Velocity Nitro does. And as we pan around to the side of the shoe, we can see where they've got some stitching there where they've sewed those bands in on the one side to the upper. It gives a little bit of structure as well as some durability to that section of the shoe. And as we move our way around back to the heel counters, there's not a whole lot else going on there in terms of plastic overlays. Zooming in on the Velocity Nitro now, we can see that they used an engineered mesh material. There's lots of perforations up in the toe box that allows plenty of airflow to help keep you cool when you're out running. These do feel a little more lightweight on foot to run in. Also, the material itself is a little more coarse to the touch, but overall I found these to be very comfortable. Let's look at the eyelet chain. See how they're getting that nice snug lockdown feeling across the midfoot on each one. I'm going to start with the Nike Pegasus 38 first. Now they have a bit more unconventional system here. They use bands. Now they've done this. They did it in the Pegasus 37 as well, although they did change the style of the band slightly. They went from a more leather type band to a more cloth like feeling to them. Now I really enjoy these. Now the way that this works is they have one side of those bands sewed right into the upper material itself, and then it wraps around to your cage and is sewed in right to the midsole. So you get this nice banded feeling across your midfoot. I enjoy that. I always feel locked in and secure all the way back to my heel cup. Looking at the Velocity Nitro, here they have a very traditional eyelet chain. There's no big wow factor here, but you don't need one. It does a great job helping me feel locked in and secure across my midfoot. You'll notice that they have plenty of extra material around the outside of the eyelets as well as on the inside cage area to give it some durability, so you don't have to worry about your laces ripping through that upper material. Also, it's wide across the midfoot, and I appreciate that. Sometimes when those cage area gets a little bit too narrow, you can have difficulty getting or feeling locked in and secure across the midfoot. Here, I think they got it just about perfect. I found these to be super comfortable. I was able to get a nice lockdown feeling across that midfoot easily, kept my heel in place and secure all the way back to the heel cup. Now the tongue on the Pegasus 38 is a bit thicker, a little more padded. Both shoes feature a fully gusseted tongue, so you don't ever have to worry about them migrating around or anything along those lines. But with that little extra padding, you're less likely to feel those bands across your midfoot. Now with the Puma Velocity Nitro, it is a thinner tongue, but I found it to be very comfortable. I didn't have any issues feeling those laces across the top of my foot. Looking at the padding around the heel collar and the tab of each of these, it's pretty darned equivalent in terms of the amount that they have. Here with the Pegasus 38, you can see that they have plenty up around that heel collar and tab to help keep you comfortable when you're out running. And they have that Achilles heel, slight heel flare now that they kept from previous versions of the shoe. But they have plenty of padding, especially up around in that Achilles area to help keep you comfortable when you're out running. The one noticeable difference is with the Nitro, or the Puma Velocity Nitro here, I felt like this padding's a little softer to the touch, maybe not quite as dense, but I did find it to be really comfortable. It has a more squared off or traditional heel counter or tab to the shoe, but they still have plenty of padding for your Achilles to rest in. I found each of these to be really comfortable when I was out running. I didn't have any issues at all with that. So look at the heel counter on each of these. Let's just check, see how much material that they have back there to help control or give you a little bit of stability in that area. I'm going to start with the Pegasus 38 first, put it up on my shoulder and give it that old pinch test. And here, there's a moderate amount of resistance there, so they do have some structure in the heel, both when I pinch it together as well as if I try to push forward on it. So it gives you a little bit of stability back there. Looking at the Velocity Nitro now, I'm going to put that up on my shoulder and I'll give that the pinch test. And you know what? They're pretty much the same. There's not a big difference between these two, either when I'm pinching it together or trying to push it forward. There's a little bit of structure, a little bit of stability there to help hold your heel in place. Look at the midsole now. This is always the fun part for me because it's where the magic in the shoe often happens. And I'm going to start with the Pegasus 38 first. Here they've got React foam from the heel to the toe. It is an Air Zoom shoe, so they do have those air units up in the forefoot of the shoe, and the PSI for the men is 20. For women, it's 15. So the ladies, it's slightly softer air unit to land on. Now I find these to be really soft, comfortable, they're lightweight, it's fun to run in, plenty responsive. I do feel pretty natural through my gait cycle. Now there are a couple of big noticeable differences here in the midsoles, and with the Pegasus 38, they have a 10mm offset from the heel to the toe, while the Velocity Nitro has an 8mm offset. And it does make a difference when I was out running. I felt like my heel wanted to hit maybe a little bit quicker in the Pegasus 38 just because of that 2mm difference. Also, with the Peg 38, they have a pretty deep groove back here in the heel area, so That felt pretty squishy, I guess, for lack of a better description. I just felt like my heel wanted to sink into that, where that deep groove is, more so than with the Velocity Nitro. They too have a groove. It's just not nearly as deep, so you don't have quite the same trampoline effect or feeling or that squish in your heel as I do with the Pegasus 38. Now, the Velocity Nitros feature their nitrogen infused foam all the way from the heel to the toe. It's soft, it's lightweight, it's fun to run in, it has lots of energy return, and it seems to hold up its integrity regardless of the distance that you're running. Also in the heel, they have this plastic piece that separates the two different types of midsole material that they used. They have their softer nitrogen-infused foam, that first layer that you're landing on, and then underneath that, they have a more dense foam. Those two things combined, that soft nitrogen-infused foam that you're landing in, that TPU clip that they have, with that more dense material that they have beneath that, it gives you a nice stable ride. I felt really natural through my gait cycle. And unlike other shoes that can put some tech in the heel that I don't always feel, because I'm a midfoot striker. So typically, I'm striking on my midfoot and I'm rolling through my gait cycle, and I can miss out sometimes on any kind of tech that they put in the heels of shoes. But in this case, I did kind of feel that more dense material that they have back there. They help give me a little bit of boost as I move through my gait cycle. So let's flip these shoes over and we'll take a look at the outsole material. See how they're protecting all of that midsole foam that they have underfoot. Starting with the Pegasus 38 first. Here you can see that they've got a ton of it. They've got blown rubber all around the heel, up through the forefoot. Really the only section that's not covered is that deep groove that they have there. They've got some pretty big waffle lugs as well. So lots of traction, lots of durability on the Pegasus 38. Comparing that to the Velocity Nitro, here you can see tons of rubber. So they're pretty equivalent. They've got it in all of the high abrasion areas, up around the midfoot, all the way through to the forefoot, and even the lugs are about equivalent in terms of the depth. So lots of traction on both of these shoes. I didn't have any issues with that at all, and I think durability is not going to be a question on either one of these. You're going to be able to get lots of miles. Now for me, as long as I was midfoot striking, the amount of cushion, the softness of the ride was pretty darn equivalent between these two shoes. The biggest difference is if you're forefoot striking, you do tend to feel that air unit in the Nike Pegasus 38s, where the Velocity Nitro does not have that type of tech up there. Also, when you're heel striking, it is a little softer in the Peg 38 just because of that groove that's back there. I felt like my heel was kind of squishing down just a little bit in there. In terms of speed, I think the Velocity Nitros have it over the Pegasus 38. They do feel quicker to me underfoot, a little bit more responsive, and they feel like they have a little more ground contact. So if you like to feel the earth beneath your feet, I think that the Velocity Nitros are probably going to be the right shoe for you. I just felt like I was really connected to the road in those shoes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. Thanks for making it to the end. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.